Joining me right now is RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel. And Ronna, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
Always good to be here. Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling going into the midterm elections, now 35 days away?
Well, I was with the president last night, and with that crowd, the energy there, I feel good. We're seeing a narrowing of the generic ballot gap, and as I look at race after race after race, I'm seeing our candidates doing well, and I'm optimistic.
Do you think that people are responding to just a good backdrop on the economy? We just got the ADP number out, and actually it showed that in the month of September, 230,000 jobs were created in the private sector and added to the economy versus an estimate of 185,000. This news just breaking a few minutes ago. Of course, we have the Labor Department's number coming out on Friday. But you've got that, but you've also got the behavior on the left around the Kavanaugh hearing. Did that change the backdrop for the Republicans, or is it just a better backdrop in terms of the economy? What's driving this?
I think the Kavanaugh hearings have energized our base. It has highlighted the obstructive nature of the Democrats. They only want to come to Washington to stop this president, resist, obstruct, delay, divide, dysfunction. Republicans are delivering on results. We have kickstarted our economy. Jobs are coming back. Wages are up. People are feeling better. Their lives are better. So it is a really clear choice. Do you want results from Republicans or resistance from Democrats? And I think voters are going to pick results every time.
And we got this new Quinnipiac University poll out, which finds the GOP cutting into the Democratic lead. There was a lot of talk before this of a blue wave, the Democrats winning. 42% of American voters now say they support the Republican candidate in their local House race, up from 38% last month. Democrats, however, backed by 49% of voters, down from 52% in September. And then you look at the Senate side. A majority of American voters say they would prefer Democrats to win the majority in the Senate. What do you make of this?
Well, generic ballots are always tough because you're not pitting one candidate against another. But as we look at the Senate map, there are opportunities to pick up seats. And let's not forget history. History is against Republicans right now because in that first midterm of a sitting president, you usually lose majorities in the Senate and the House. We're talking about picking up seats in the Senate potentially, which is fantastic. And now with that generic ballot narrowing, we're seeing more and more races that we think we're going to win that Democrats thought were for sure in their columns. So keeping the House is absolutely within our reach if our voters turn out. And that's where the president going out and energizing our base and saying, vote Republican. I need you. I'm not on the ballot, but I need more Republicans to keep this comeback going is so impactful in turning out our vote.
Because if you don't hold on to the majority in the House, you're going to see a lot of the agenda stopped, right? I mean, you've heard Nancy Pelosi say she wants to undo the tax cut plan. She wants to abolish ICE. And, of course, we know overall they would like to impeach President Trump.
Yeah, you will see Washington shut down for 2 years if the Democrats take control of the House. They will raise taxes. They will abolish ICE. They want open borders. But more importantly, they want to stop Donald Trump. So it will be investigation after investigation after investigation up until 2020. Our country has turned around. People's lives are so much better. Do we really want to go back to the dark ages of Pelosi and Schumer? Voters need to keep that in the back of their mind because Democrats have delivered nothing for the American people except more dysfunction in Washington these past 2 years.
So how are you dealing with some of these big, deep-pocketed Democrats that are giving the party a lot of money? We had Kevin McCarthy on the other day, House Majority Leader, who said, look, we've been raising a lot of money, and he's been on the road continually raising money, he and his colleagues. But you got a guy like Mike Bloomberg, gave the Democrats $80 million, says he's willing to go up to $100 million. You got Tom Steyer willing to give tens of millions of dollars as well. Do you have those kind of donors?
We do, and it is frustrating to see Mike Bloomberg and Steyer and Soros try and buy these elections for Democrats and tell Democrats, go run as a moderate because we know you'll come to Washington and be a Pelosi liberal. But the RNC's raised $250 million. That's more than any political party in history going into a midterm. We're in 28 states. Our ground game is 5 times larger than what we had in 2016. So we're ready, but we are up against a well-funded Democrat party by 3 progressive billionaires.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to some moderate Democrats the other night. One is a banker, and he said to me, you know, I don't recognize the party anymore. I think one thing that the Republicans have going for them, that the Democrats have been hijacked by the extreme left. Democratic Socialist and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez among them. And of course, we know President Obama this week endorsed her, but she seemed a little confused about how Congress works. She said last night this, quote, I would love to get inaugurated on January 3rd. Then on January 4th, we're signing health care, but really we have a duty to always fight and maintain the strength of our values. I mean, you don't get inaugurated in Congress, right?
No, you get sworn in. And she definitely struggles with some of the comprehensive issues that Congress has to deal with Israel, with health care, funding this huge Medicare for All plan that she's putting forward. She doesn't even know how she'd pay for it. It's a boondoggle, and this is how the Democrat Party is going. They're promising everything. And then they're saying, well, we don't know how we'll pay for it. I'll tell you who's going to pay for it, the American taxpayer, because none of this is free, and it will bankrupt our country. So everyone needs to be wary of these Democrats promising the moon and not being able to deliver.
Yeah, which is why Nancy Pelosi already said she wants to raise taxes. I mean, the plan is for the top earners to pay for it, I assume, or maybe that won't even be enough money. I'll have to raise taxes on everybody.
They'll have to raise taxes on everybody.
Yeah, so the 2020 RNC convention dates and location have been announced. You've got August 24th through the 27th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tell us what the plans are in place for the convention.
It was so exciting. I was in Charlotte on Monday. The partnership that we have with the city of Charlotte, with the police chief, with the mayor, with the business community is so thrilling because they want to highlight their great city. We want to get in there now to start preparing for this huge convention. 2 years isn't a lot of time when you're putting together a huge global event. So we're on the ground. We want to use local vendors. It's a great city, and it's also going to be a great opportunity to renominate President Trump and Vice President Pence.
Now, who do you think he'll go up against on the Democratic side?
Oh, any of them will beat. That's what I think.
All right, we'll leave it there. Ronna, good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Ronna McDaniel joining us there.